This is one of those things you wonder, why is the industry standard like this? But after this mod, we're not gonna have to worry about it anymore. How's it going? I hope you're doing well, because today I have a handful of tips for you and your RV. This fall is an amazing time. Not only is it a great time to have some fun, but there are some things that you can do to your RV to really set you up before the cold sets in. Whether you're gonna be putting it in storage or taking it to Florida or Arizona or somewhere warmer, I have some tips that are really gonna be able to help you out. I'm telling you, this is an ideal time. So let's get right into it. Now, this first one are things that are easily missed. So if you winterize your RV, something that you may not have thought about is the tank flush. Make sure that you get the water out of there, so have that antifreeze get pumped through there, because you don't want that freezing also. The other thing that you might miss if you're still gonna use your RV through the winter and you're gonna be in a cold area are the low point drains. These are our low point drains. You can see that I added some insulation in there. This is something you don't want to forget. Being able to insulate them is going to help, but I took it a step further and I put shutoffs on the inside of that underbelly. So it'd be nice if I had an access panel here to make that really easy. I just loosen up a couple of screws, open it when we need to, and close it when we need to. And that way I don't have water sitting out here when we're using the RV in a cold weather situation. So the reason why this is something you don't want to forget is they make these RVs so that you can use them in the winter. We have the underbelly that's heated. We have tank heaters on here and all those things to be able to use it. And then we just dangle out a couple of water pipes out there so that they'll freeze in the wintertime. So taking these measures to protect it, insulating it, is going to make it to where hopefully we don't come out and see icicles hanging out from underneath the bottom of the RV, and then we have something to repair when that's thawing out. So another thing that is easy to forget is something like the spray port on the back. When you're winterizing it, that's something that you'd want to make sure is winterized. But this little DIY mod, adding that insulation, can really help you out so you don't have a problem. Now, this one always kind of gets me. It's the screens on your furnace. I don't know if everybody knows this, but you can actually void your warranty just by having the screens on there for your furnace. So they say you should not have those on there because you can restrict the flow of air for your furnace. And if they find that it's on there and you have a problem with your furnace, they may not cover it. So the reason why we put them on there is so that the mud daubers don't go in there and make a nest, and then it would restrict the flow of air and be almost impossible, very, very difficult to clean those out and still use that furnace later. So we use the screens. One thing that you can do, and you might want to consider, some people do, we just leave them on all year and we make sure that nothing causes a blockage on them, is you can remove them when you're getting ready to use it for the winter. The mud daubers are slowing down. We're not really worried about them building a nest in there, so we could use it, and as we use it every day, we're not worried about things getting built up inside of there. I have never had a problem using these, and I don't see it restricting the flow all that much in and of itself. But if you haven't used your RV in a while and there's a snowdrift on the side or leaves piling up, any kind of restriction, just make sure that this area is clean, clear of any kind of blockage or debris or anything like that. But this isn't the only place that we can have problems with pests. Talking about bugs, this is pretty crazy. This year we have been overrun by these Asian lady beetles. They look like ladybugs, but they're slightly different and slightly more annoying. So they have been getting into every crack and crevice inside of our RV. It doesn't matter if the doors and windows and screens and everything is closed, they find their way in and they're just making themselves at home. And I don't like that. So that brings us to this point of prepare your home so that you don't have to worry about pests over the winter. The mice and the bugs, you don't want to open it up in the spring, and you don't want to have to battle it all winter. These pests are looking for a place to spend the winter. Let me just tell you, you don't want to host these guys. So I have a video about trying to keep pests out of your RV. Apparently I need to update that for these lady beetles, but I'm going to put a link down in the description to that video because lots of good information in there about trying to keep the mice out of your RV so it's not destroyed by them. Now this one, there's a good chance that you're gonna thank me later, and it's protecting the outside of your RV. It sounds really simple, but it's a step that we often forget at this time of year. So whether you're gonna cover the RV or for us, we like to be able to protect it. Give it a fresh coat of protectant on the outside. What I'm gonna be trying this year, because I've done the spray waxes that are on there, super easy to put on, but now I have a graphene ceramic spray coating. This isn't sponsored by Adams or anything like that, but this is a ceramic graphene coating that I can put on there to help protect it. So usually on a car, you can get like 18 to 24 months out of something like this for protection. I called them. They said it's perfectly safe to be able to use on the RV. So this is going to be able to cover it for at least a year. The reason why I tried this is because I had a friend that used some of the graphene ceramic coating on the front cap of his fifth wheel, and I was really impressed with years later it was still protecting the front of the RV, and you could still see that water beating up. The bugs were easy to clean off. So the reason why this is important to do now is because you always see those posts in the spring of, hey, how do I get these black streaks off of my RV? Well, instead of trying to use a harsh chemical in the spring to get those black streaks off, it's better to put a protective coating on there so that you can get those off easily. It's going to help you get the bugs off when you're driving around. It's going to help you get those black streaks off. So there's just really no downside other than to actually putting this on yourself. And this isn't that hard to put on. There's a lot of other different things you could use on your RV. I'm going to be testing this out on half the RV. I know that sounds strange, but I want to see what the difference is. So I'll let you know in the spring how this is looking, how it does, and what the performance is like. So the hardest part was getting the RV to look like I wanted to. Just looking at the front cap and the front of the RV, you can see just how dirty it was and grimy. Just taking the work to get it to the place where you want to put this protective layer on it was the difficult part. This was really easy. You spray the rag, you put it in a hatch motion, you let it get a rainbow look, and then that disappears, and then you just wipe it off. There's really no buffing with something like this. But at the first get-go, it's starting to look pretty good, and then I know it's going to be protected for all winter. So definitely worth protecting your RV. It's going to make it last longer and look better for longer. Now, you might be surprised with this one because it's so simple, and it's to still get out there and enjoy the time. So hold with me on this one for a minute, because even if you've winterized your RV, this is going to still be excellent advice. Get out there and take the time to enjoy a hike, or go on a walk, or go on a bike ride, or even have a campfire at night, even if you're not using your RV or going camping. There's more life that happens around a campfire than there is sitting in front of the TV at night. And this is the time of year that it's easy to kind of relax, sit in front of the TV, and not take those times to create those memories. This is something that I did really early on with our boys when they were young and my wife needed a break. I would take them and just go have a campfire at night, cook some hot dogs over the fire, and she would get a break, we would get some memories, and it was always a good time. Never regretted doing it. I'm telling you, it's good advice to still get out there and enjoy the time. Be intentional this time of year. This list can really go on, so I'm going to leave you with some resources, whether you need a step-by-step guide on how to winterize it, how to keep pests out of your RV, or things that we do to our RV every fall, or maybe you're looking for the best heaters to be able to use inside of your RV. I'm going to leave those resources down in the description, and I hope some of those help you out. Hope to see you guys on the road, and if not, we'll see you in the next video. Take care.